This is day 19 of building a 10K a month business while working a 9 to 5. Hey everyone, if you haven't seen me before, pause on this page. You can see who I am and also just what we are doing. So really the business I'm going in is marketing for high-end home renovators. So I've also changed up the theme a bit. So you can just also see what I've done each day, but with a bit of a description on just showing you what we've done. So I did post a video yesterday, just explaining a bit on what I did in the weekend. So it's currently a Sunday, it's the 12th of July. And what I've done is I've spent some time on the website. So this is how the website looked like. And this is the first demo or first prototype almost. And you can go and look at episode 15 where I wrote or where I gave Claude the prompt to build this website. So even though you can give Claude a one-line prompt and go and say, build me a website for marketing agency for home renovators, it's going to give you a very generic website. You're not going to speak to any specific ICP. So, and it's going to use the most generic outline or outline for a website. So the prompt I gave it was really specific to what I wanted. I'm not the best at building websites, but I know some type of structure that I like, and also the copy I wanted in. So it's what I gave Claude, and this is what it gave me. So I think it's definitely a very good first stab at a website. And so I spent yesterday just to get it to a place where I feel comfortable with it being more aligned to my brand. And I think it looks really cool. There's still a couple of things I need to fix, like for example, you can see when I scroll down, this card is not yet visible, but I think it looks really cool. I like it. I know one thing we said in the previous video was what I want to do is create real mock-ups for the ad, for the landing pages, and then when someone gets or goes onto the website, they can also go and click on it and see some of the ads we are using. I'm not going to spend time building out 20 ads. It's just to show them this is the vibe, this is what we're doing, and to show them there's some real work behind what we're doing. It's not just like mock-ups that any AI can go and build. So yeah, that's the website. I'm very keen. Like I'm actually very happy with it. I know it looks very agency-ish. So if you've seen other agencies' websites, it does look like that. But I like it. And so the other thing I did was I spent some time yesterday to build out my swipe file. So what I did was I went onto the ads library on Facebook, filtered on the United States, because I know the United States, it's a bigger country, there's more people running ads. I wanted to get some inspiration from those ads. So I filtered on the United States, filtered on ads that were posted and still running before, like for example, March or April, like quite a while back, so that I know if those ads are still running, it means probably they're profitable or working, and it's just better ads. And what's interesting was I looked at the ads that America or people in the United States were running, and then I searched the same keywords. I was looking up kitchen remodeling. I searched the same keyword in South Africa with the same filters, and lo and behold, there were like 2 ads still running. Whereas on the United States page, there were like 180 ads and more still running with those filters on. In South Africa, there was like 2 ads. I was like, it's either there's a lot of people in South Africa not running ads, or there's just not a lot of people in South Africa doing these or part of my ICP. And I started thinking, and I knew this was something I needed to address before like fully committing. I knew that, so I can't remember what episode it was, but I did the exercise of scraping possible businesses to work with. I got about 160. Those 160 came from the two biggest cities in South Africa. Like, there's probably four big cities in South Africa, or there's a couple of big ones, but I chose the two biggest, like Johannesburg and Pretoria. I got 160 leads, and only 40 of them were part of my ICP. So people actually wanted to reach out to, and 40 is like nothing. So it's really, 40 is a evening's worth of outreach, an evening's worth of cold calling. And I just thought, like, there's just no way I'm gonna be able to run this business only in South Africa. And I started thinking of some of the pros and cons to either going for companies in or businesses in the United States or businesses in South Africa. And there's a couple of other things I thought about. So first of all, like I've just mentioned, the total addressable market is so low, or is so small in South Africa. Like, in America, United States, it's a much more, there's much more companies or businesses doing these type of things. First of all, second of all, the exchange rate from the dollar to the rand it's 18 rand for $1. And the problem is, there's such a bigger appetite for these type of services in the United States compared to in South Africa. I promise you, in South Africa, yes, and I know you can go for really high-end home renovators, but if I go for just a home renovator selling a 300K bathroom renovation, I don't know what the range is really like, but I think they're max gonna pay like 10, 20K max for that service. In America, in the United States, that's $1,000. Like, that's the going rate, and actually on the lower end for these type of services. So it's really, I mean, just thinking of that, I can charge 2, 3, 4, maybe 5K for the services per client when I work with people in the United States. But in South Africa, like, charging 100K, that's almost like 5K dollars. Charging 100,000 rand in South Africa is just like, no one's gonna pay that for marketing service. So it's possible in America, it's not possible in South Africa, just because the market or the agency, I can't really articulate it that well, but that's just how it is. But yeah, again, I don't really know how to articulate it well. And then another thing that's really counting in my favor, rather going for businesses in the United States, is that the time zone offset when working my 9 to 5. So working my 9 to 5, when I come home 4 o'clock-ish, then really the day has just started in the United States. It works really well, especially if I want to start cold calling, reaching out to people via DM or email or those type of things. So the time offset really helps. And then, yeah, so just those things, like the TAM, total addressable market in the United States, much bigger, exchange rate, the time zone offset, and just the appetite for marketing in the United States is just so much bigger. And then some of the negatives, like, obviously there's some drawbacks. The market for agencies are incredibly saturated in the United States. That's something I really need to take into account. I'll really need to stand out in that market, and just also the local benefit I'm giving away. So being in South Africa, I have the accent, I know how the people work. I can maybe see some people in person when I do these meetings. And you can just better relate to the people in South Africa. It's just, I think it's easier to, it will definitely be easier to get my first client here. And Yeah, so it's actually my sister asked me yesterday, why don't I start in South Africa and then go on to the United States? And that's really a very big discussion that's so important to me because it really also, that question defined, that type of question really defined my first 3 years of trying to start a business. And I'll explain why. I know it sounds weird, but I'll explain why in episode 21, so day 21. I think tomorrow I'm just going to do a recap of the first 20 days and just show what I've done, where I am, just do a recap, and then day 21 I'll really discuss that question because I think it's so important. Yeah, it's something that shaped my first 3 years of trying to start a business. So cool. I hope you liked it. I hope to see you in the next video.